All right, game week has finally arrived after a long off-season, preseason, training camp. Azeez Al-Shaair here now, new Texan, but a guy's going to make some plays, man. How fired up are you right now that game week has arrived and you guys play for real here starting Sunday?
Man, I appreciate you having me first off. But, yeah, I'm super excited. Obviously, you go throughout OTAs, training camp, you know, just back and forth, beating up on each other. And now, you know, finally being able to go against somebody else and it means something and it be for real. I think it's just a great feeling, especially you open up the season with the Colts. You know, obviously knowing how the season ended last year, you know, winning that game, you know, actually getting into the playoffs. I think like there's a lot of bad blood between the two and a big rivalry in that sense, and obviously a division game. So all money's in. You know, it feels like the Super Bowl for us because it's just as important as any other game.
So you're new to the team, but you're in Tennessee. You're in the division. You know what these teams are all about.
Yes,
prior to
sir.
that, San Francisco. But what have you heard from the guys that have experienced this rivalry, if you will? Because it started from day one here with this franchise.
Yeah, I think just the same things that you get when I was in Tennessee and even when I was in San Francisco playing against this team. You know, they're a very physical team. I think offensive line, defensive line, just their identity, you could tell like they want to run the ball, they want to be physical, they want to stop the run. So I think that just jumps off the tape right out the gate. And even in that game last year, they did a really good job of running the ball. That game where I think Jonathan Taylor had a high ankle sprain and still ran for almost 200 yards.
Still productive.
You know, obviously, you know, we understand what we need to do to win the game and, you know, make sure we're doing our jobs from a defensive perspective. But just as a team, I think everybody is coming in, guns blazing, everybody's ready to go. So.
What's this transition been like for you? I've always loved to ask that for guys that come into an organization for the first time because, you know, there is a transition. There's a chemistry building with teammates. How's it been for you?
It's been great. You know, it's kind of cool, you know, coming into a place that it's new, but just having, like, relationships with all the guys, whether it have been from them watching film last year of me when I was in San Francisco because they're trying to learn this defense. And so, like, them saying, oh, man, that's that same guy. So they always the guy with the elbow brace. So that's how they all first recognize me. And then playing against them, you know, you chop it up with the guys after the game and just build that type of bond, social media, stuff like that. And then finally playing with them all throughout OTAs, being here the whole time, and then training camp, like you continue to just grow and build a bond. So it's been great, you know. And obviously the other day voting for captains and being voted as a captain, like that was just like pretty special, you know, because for now me, you know, it's a second team that I've been in for the first time, like last year being in Tennessee, got voted as a captain, so that was a great honor. And then to come to a new team again and have that same result for me, it was a big thing because I just felt like, dang, like that's like, it was a special thing to happen. So I think it just speaks to like the chemistry that we've been able to build and I've been able to have with the guys. So I'm definitely proud of that.
You take pride in it. I can tell.
Yes, sir.
You come into a new group and you immediately have made an impact on them.
Yes, sir.
Is that almost like you briefly just push the game itself on the field aside and say, man, it's part of the bigger picture here that I can be an influence on these guys, and they believe me and trust me.
100%, because I think that the one thing that I learned, you know, from my time in San Francisco, one of the many things I learned was that if you build the brotherhood first, then the play becomes easy. Mm-hmm. It's easy to yell at somebody or communicate plays and be on the same page as that, or like go back and forth about football stuff when you know that the person that you're going back and forth with cares about you. Because if we're all men, we all have our own egos, but when you're on the field and it's heated in the moment, and I know for a fact that this is a guy who knows my family, he knows about me personally, we've had laughs, cries, all types of talks together, I won't take anything personal because I know he wants the best for me. And so that's what I try to do with the guys, is like genuinely let them know like that I care about them and we're all in the same boat together. So I'm never trying to, you know, belittle nobody or not, like hold me accountable the same way I hold you accountable. I know what your goals and your expectations are for yourself because we talked about them already. So when we're on the field, if you're meeting that expectation, I'm going to hype you up. I'm going to be the best hype man in the world. And if you're not, I'm going to let you know too, like, hey, bro, like, we got to get it together. So I think it's just like an accountability piece, but you know it's coming from a place of love. Yeah. So it just makes everything work a little bit better.
Your journey to get here is well documented. Undrafted FAU. You went through a situation when your house burned down. And I'm not sure how old you were when it happened, but
12.
12 years old. your journey to get here, do you almost, when a new season starts, do you almost push the reset button, just kind of reflect on the road to get here and, you know, how these doors have opened thanks to your hard work and your talent?
Sure. I mean, I think it's a blessing, obviously, to be in the position I'm in and how far I've been able to come. And it's just a constant reminder, you know, humility and just a gratitude, because I reflect back on my life multiple times throughout a year, especially in a season. I think I do a lot of journaling and stuff like that, but try to reflect because there's different highs and lows of a season. You know, obviously when I first signed my contract, that's like a high. I'm just like, this is awesome. This is everything I worked for. And then you go through like the struggles of being in that position. And, you know, when the season starts, obviously everybody's aspirations are super high and everybody's goals are high. But one thing I told the guys the other day, it's like, man, like adversity is going to hit. Like, obviously we know how great we can be and all this stuff, but like even the greatest of defenses have given up touchdowns and missed tackles and stuff like that. So I think it's just keeping the main thing, but also staying grounded and remembering like how far you come as a person, how far we've come as a unit, and like just sticking to the plan. And so I think for me, when I do like have a bad week or a bad day, I definitely reflect a lot on my past just to remind me like, hey, you went through so much worse and overcame all that. Yeah. So just stay the course and it'll take care of itself.
Is there a meaning behind wearing 0?
Honestly, no.
You just like the number, huh?
It was just, I really want number 2. And obviously, Robert wears number 2, and he was a player. We used to play against each other when he was in the Rams. Yeah. So I just always had a lot of respect for him. I wasn't even like a conversation of like, hey, can I buy it from you or nothing? And I think 0 for me was just like, you know, if I'm thinking of numbers, I'm thinking of stuff, I'm like, you know what, man, like, all the people that could have got drafted, I didn't get drafted. So it's just like something different, something that's unique, and I just feel like, you know, there's nobody else that's like me. I can only be myself. So I guess in a way it could be symbolic, but you know, I think regardless of the number, I know what type of player I am. So
a couple more minutes with you, and we got to wrap it up. You're going and playing for a guy that you're familiar with D'Amico. How cool has that been?
It's been
playing in this organization with D'Amico.
It's been awesome, man. I think the relationship that me and him had already, you know, I was grateful for, because he pretty much helped groom me throughout my time in San Francisco and my time in the league, how to be a pro. Because obviously I knew I could be a good player, a great player, all these things, but helping really manifest those things out of me, him, Johnny Holland, obviously, but, you know, just that connection and that bond that I had with him, you know, it was a lot of headbutting and back and forth. I'm like, man, why is this man on me like this? But you realize everything was like to help me, you know, to make me a better player and a better person. So I think getting back to be able to play for him and, you know, him being my coach, it's been awesome. And just to see, like, everything that he's worked up to, you know, because I saw him as a position coach and then a D coordinator. Now to be in a room and seeing him preach these same messages that he talked about to us when he was just a position coach, to see his hard work pay off too, like, it's full circle all the way, you know, because obviously it's the same thing in my room. When I first came in, I was just a little rookie, undrafted rookie, and now to see me in this position now, like, I'm sure it's the same type of feeling. So, yeah, it's pretty special. I'm definitely grateful for it.
All right, lastly, game day Sunday. What's it going to be like for you, man? What's a game day opening Sunday like for Azeez AlShaair?
Man, hopefully a lot of fun, good energy, just flying around, trying to make plays, man, trying to get guys lined up. And not me, I really, like, just love game day. I mean, I think everybody does, because you know, it's like Robert Saleh, one thing I'll say, and, you know, kind of leave it at that. Robert Saleh, he used to tell a story, and he was like, a lot of people, they're ready, but they're not prepared. And the analogy that he uses is like, if you called your best friend and say, hey, you want to play an NFL game today? Like, everybody's going to say, hell yeah. But, you know, you think about, like, did you put the work in throughout the week? And that's what being prepared is about. So I think for us, we're prepared. Like, today we just got it in, and every single day, like, the work that led up to the game, like, you did everything that you needed to do. So when you go out there on Sunday, play with confidence, play with swagger, and just go have fun.
Get that win, man.
Yes, sir.
It's going to be fun covering you.
Yes,
hey, best
sir.
of luck this season.
Appreciate
Azeez
you.
AlShaair, new linebacker and playmaker for this Texans defense. It's going to be a lot of fun. Best of luck to you this year,
Appreciate you, my man.